everywhere. Get this with the free Odyssey app and try out that rewind feature. My show on your time. Test it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Good morning, Las Vegas. What's going on? Welcome to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas, the best of pro wrestling news and entertainment. I'll be bringing it all to you today. We're going to have a great time, a very busy week, and some little controversies here and there. We're going to get into all that. It should be a pretty jam-packed information show, and we're very happy to have you with us, whether you're listening to us on KDAWN or the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Go get that thing right now, and I promise you're going to have an even better Father's Day than you were going to anyway. So download that app, and you can listen to our show. You can listen to so many other shows that are in the KDAWN network, on KDAWN, within the Odyssey network, and it's just an incredible app. So should be all your entertainment. You will certainly enjoy it. Also, we are live streaming on YouTube, X, and Facebook. YouTube and Facebook is the Mark Hoke Show. X is at Mark Hoke Show. And you can get in here, and boy, we really would love to have your input today. There's a lot to talk about. I want to hear your thoughts. It's going to be a heck of a show today as we start the road to Night of Champions and getting ready for AEW All In, as that card is starting to shape up. Going to be a lot of fun. So stick around for 2 hours of all this as we dig into it. So I decided today that I wanted to kick things off with a massive Monday Night Raw. Boy, I'll tell you, a lot happened on this show. Now, sometimes you'll see one or two things that are of import, but this time around, I don't know, not so much. Man, it is pretty crazy. So let's dive right into that. We've got CM Punk and John Cena, everybody, as on Raw. Punk challenged John Cena, and Cena decided, yeah, we'll go for it at Night of Champions in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Now, normally it would just be a fun match, right? Hey, Punk, Cena, let's line it up. But boy, did this put CM Punk in a very, I think, awkward and damaging position. I am absolutely stunned that WWE would do this to him, because if you remember correctly, now CM Punk is a very vocal person when it comes to a lot of his political beliefs. He is on the left side of things, I would say very far left. And back when he was in AEW, he took a shot at The Miz for going to Saudi Arabia in a rather, shall we say, profanity-laden tirade that I cannot read on the air. But basically insinuated he was going over there for blood money. And, you know, it's the whole thing in Saudi Arabia was a terrible thing. They shouldn't be performing over there. Lo and behold, I guess the money got to Phil. He certainly could have turned this down if he wanted to. If he didn't want to go, he could have stayed out. But WWE, for some reason, decided, hey, you know what? Let's put CM Punk in an awkward position and have him have to wrestle in Saudi Arabia. Here's the problem, and this is just another little stumble by WWE in terms of PR. Look, Punk is very vocal about not liking what goes on in Saudi Arabia. I would, and I would agree with him on some things. The way women are treated and so on. It's archaic and silly. But for him to just a few years ago step out and well, find the tweet for yourself. It's not too hard. To get him to actually go to Saudi Arabia now after insinuating you guys are just going over there for the money and they're scumbags and so on and so forth, I think hurts CM Punk more than a lot of people understand. Look, Phil Brooks is a guy who, when he goes into that ring, had put himself in the position of the voice of the voiceless. And you felt like, whether you agreed or disagreed, and he has made multiple political statements on air on AEW especially, but at least you felt like you could believe what he said, right? You felt like it was genuine. And I think that's part of the appeal of CM Punk, that whether you necessarily agree or disagree with him, you felt like you kind of knew where the guy stood. And for WWE to put him in this position where all of a sudden now he's going to perform in Riyadh, when he essentially said, yeah, you're contributing to murder. It's, when you say the word blood money, that's what you're saying. It is a really tough spot for CM Punk. Now, they may play into this a little bit, and I'm sure John Cena will call him a hypocrite and all these things. But it is certainly, I think, and seeing it on social media, hurt Punk in the long haul. Look, this is going to be, I'm sure it's going to be a fun match. Everybody's excited about it. Yeah, but you took the person, Phil Brooks, that everybody felt like was going to be, is this genuine guy who has a lot of heavy principles and he's not going to yield. You made him yield. And I think a lot of fans, from what I saw, lost a lot of respect for CM Punk by going to wrestle in Saudi Arabia. And look, do you blame the guy for taking the money? Because I would imagine that check that he's getting is one number before the first comma and 6 zeros after it. I would imagine he's making some serious bank to go over there. But, it's more the principle of the thing. You got to stick by your guns sometimes. And, look, Sami Zayn did it. He was like, I'm never going over there. There he went. And it turned out he actually enjoyed himself, as you could go back and look at some of the premium live events over there. But I do feel like he sold out a little bit. I really do. I feel like he sold out. It is just, to me, not a good thing. And I see Bionic Scoop in the chat box, our good friend Scoop. He hasn't wrestled yet. Swerve could happen with Truth and Mix. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. But this is the thing about how these bookings in Saudi Arabia work. WWE listens to the Saudis. They don't want a mediocre card with a mid-level main event on these crown jewels and this Night of Champions over there. They want headliners. They want stuff to generally happen. It's going to be important, that people are going to be talking about. They put a lot of money into this. This is kind of their tourist advertisement. And so I don't think the Punk's going to pull out of this thing. And Seth Rollins came out on the one of the promos and with the Money in the Bank briefcase. So Seth's going to be there, I would imagine. But look, like I said, it's not a matter of whether I agree with CM Punk's politics or not. And I'll just say it out loud. I don't. But when you say you're not going to do something, and you say you're going to stick to your principles, and you insult one of your peers the way he did, and then you turn around and do it. Like I said, the reaction that I saw on social media really did not go well for Phil Brooks. So, let's see. Let's throw some other comments in the chat box about this. By the way, we got everybody fired up here. Nicole Garcia. Yeah, congratulations on Nikki getting beat up. I'm sorry. I'm in a little bit of a goofy mood today. What if Punk wins the belt, and is that his reason for going? I'm going to say to the second part, no, the reason he's going is because he got a pretty good paycheck. Maybe they're going to do a Money in the Bank briefcase title change on this. Punk wins the title from John. But there's so many routes that WWE can go with this, for sure. I mean, no doubt about that. With who's going to end up being the one to dethrone John Cena, it would be fascinating if it went Punk Rollins, because now you get another interesting dynamic. Where does Cody Rhodes end up? Just coming off that Saturday night's main event. So fascinating. It's going to be a fascinating night. And I'm not saying I'm not going to watch it or anything like that, but oh boy, it just, as I watched after I saw the announcement and I started scrolling through, a lot of people that were disappointed. Bionic Scoop saying also Sammy could have been a catalyst. Yeah, it's a possibility. Sammy, given his heritage, was dead set against going over there. Absolutely dead set against it. But turned out he has embraced it. He has a lot of people that support him that go to see him perform when he's there. The situation in Saudi Arabia it's very, trying to think of it's an odd dichotomy, because when you look at what they're doing in Riyadh and in places like Dubai and so on, man, the cities are beautiful. They are beautiful. I mean, you look at our cities right now, like New York, Chicago, LA, and they're dumps. Sorry, guys, they're dumps. And you see something like that over in Saudi Arabia, and you're like, oh my God, why aren't we doing this? But of course, there's a price to pay. So it's a very controversial subject when you get into the international relations. But they want people coming over there. When you watch these shows, you see it's all about the tourist boards and everything else. So. What else? Let me see what else we've got in here. Nicole Garcia also saying Seth cashing in on Cena and humiliating Punk by winning. Look, there's a lot of ways they can go with this. A lot. That to me is the intriguing part about all this. Because WWE's got so many main event top tier guys. Even though we're going to talk about it, they're starting to separate some people away. But it should be a fun night. But like I said, I think that WWE really put Punk in a bad spot here. And honestly, if I were Phil, I probably would have said no. Just to maintain, because he crosses his person and his character a lot. He really does. And when people look up to you for having integrity and sticking up for pro wrestling, and and like I said, whether you agree or disagree with the politics, he takes a stand, he stays by it. And this is a crack in that armor. So we'll see how that turns out with CM Punk. And if the fan base is a little turned off, it'll be fun to see. We also got a Ron Killing sighting, and I'm gonna we'll go through this. But Ron Killings, of course, formerly known as R-Truth, after he gets his new contract, which apparently he insisted, we are not going to be doing this R-Truth BS anymore, kids. Ron Killings, the bad man, is back. And the Truth is going to be is a little fired up, as he did a terrific promo. And then he has attacked John Cena a couple times already. They're going to face off on SmackDown. And the chat box was talking about R-Truth a little bit. And I guess we got to stop calling him R-Truth. It's Ron Killings, the former NWA world champion when he was in TNA. This is going to be a lot of fun. And boy, how tempted would you be to pull the trigger? How tempted would you be out there to say, you know what? Let's give him, and even if it's for a day, just one day, can we do it for a week? After all we made him do over the past, 15, 17 years, ballpark? Wouldn't it be nice to have Ron Killings as the world champion? Of course, he is the most decorated champion in WWE history with all those over 50 24/7 championships. But he has brought that intensity to his character once again, and man, it is fun to see. Fun to see. You know, I had suggested when they were facing off on Saturday night's main event, you change the title. I don't know, but it's going to be a lot of fun to see where everything goes with R-Truth. I mean, John Cena all of a sudden was going from one to the next, and now the horde is starting to close in. Here they come. And no matter who it is, there's a lot of people that are gunning for John Cena's WWE Undisputed Championship. But yeah, we're going to get a Ron Killings Cena match, not an R-Truth match, a Ron Killings match. And that is going to be a lot of fun to see. I can't wait. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, honestly, do I think they're going to pull the trigger? No. But golly gee whiz, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? After all this time? We'll find out. But that's part of the fun of WWE for sure. All right, we're going to step back and take a break. And when we return, we're going to keep going on everything that happened on Monday Night Raw and the rest of the WWE, because we've got a new world champion, and it is not without controversy there either. Stick around, everybody, here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas, Odyssey app, and streaming on YouTube, X, and Facebook. We will be right back.
Did you have an unexpected trip to urgent care or the emergency room? Dollar Loan Center has you covered.
Dollar Loan Center. Dollar Loan Center. Dollar Loan Center.
Hey, accidents happen, and they usually come at inopportune times. Medical care is not cheap, and Don'tBeBroke.com is here to help. At Dollar Loan Center, you can get a signature loan up to $5,000, and with our instant funding, you get the money immediately after approval. You don't need a checking account. It's free to apply, and new customers' first week of interest is on us. Stop by one of our 60 locations, apply over the phone with a real person, or online at Don'tBeBroke.com from the comfort of your smartphone.
Dollar Loan Center.
Dollar Loan Center has you covered.
Licensed by Nevada Financial Institutions Division. Subject to approval. Limitations may apply. See website for details.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/score. That's ethos.com/score.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go, but I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there, providing hot meals, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding.
To learn more, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
1015 FM KDAWN. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we are back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM. It is the talk of Las Vegas. Very happy to have you with us today as we celebrate Father's Day. That's one I can get into. I'm a single dad and kind of playing both roles, actually. Do a little celebration on Mother's Day, too. Because, well, now we won't get into it. But thank you. But very happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, especially those good ones that stick around in the hard times, man. Keep it rolling. You're not alone out there, I promise. All right, let's get back to what is going on in WWE, because we also have a new world heavyweight champion. That's right. They pulled the trigger. And after 51 days, another short reign for Jey Uso is Gunther. Oh, my man. I love that guy. He's awesome. Is once again the world heavyweight champion as he puts Jey Uso to sleep. Yeety yeet, nighty night. We say goodbye to Jey Uso. Yeah, Gunther is the champ again. But, boy, I'll tell you what. They were kind of setting this up a little bit. Oh, he's going through a lot. He's tired. I'm like, it's a 50-day reign. Come on, man. Come on. But the apparent reason that has been getting reported that they pulled the title from him, and I'm just shaking my head. I'm just shaking my head on this. Because Gunther is apparently going to be wrestling Goldberg on Saturday night's main event coming up on July 12th as he gets ready to try to help pull some viewers away from All In from AEW. So we get Gunther and Goldberg, and they wanted to make sure it was for the championship. Can't have, this whole Goldberg-Gunther thing just be a really good match. No. Why did they even give Jey the title? Why? Other than they're getting a pop at WrestleMania. And it appears to be the only reason, because to do this to Jey wasn't fair. And his papa Rikishi, talk about Father's Day, boy, he was ticked off about it. If you go to check out his podcast, boy, he was ticked. He was ticked. He wasn't really mad about Gunther or anything like that, but it was just the matter of, why are you doing it to Jey when you're trying to get him going? It just didn't really seem to make sense. And I think it's tough for Jey too. It's tough for Jey too. I mean, when you're trying to establish a character and establish somebody at the top of the card, and especially in the situation that WWE's got, you have so many guys up there that you could legitimately put as a world champion, not even bat an eye. And you inserted Jey Uso into that group at the Royal Rumble by having him win it, instead of taking what I think a lot of people would have said was the more sensible road and let John Cena win it. Because there are people that are not fans of the heel turn. But, oh man, I just think this is a real stinger for Jey Uso. And it's certainly got to rock his confidence a little bit, I would think. It can't feel good to say, we like you, buddy. But, Bill Goldberg's out there. I mean, it's Bill Goldberg. The guy who admitted he's getting hurt in training. And look, I have nothing against Goldberg. I loved Goldberg. Loved watching him go back in WCW. And had some good moments here in WWE, but he's had some pretty bad ones too. I think we all remember him nearly killing The Undertaker. But this is a very tough spot for Jay. You know, how do you come back from this? Now, and then you compound this, right? Then you compound this by the King of the Ring tournament. You give him the open spot when every wrestling fan that I was following and every journalist was like, oh man, that open spot in the tournament, give it to Cross. Give it to our guy from Vegas, man. Karrion Kross is the guy. Everybody loves him. He's super over. Let's go. Nope. You put Jey Uso right back in the tournament for the King of the Ring, which if you win King or Queen of the Ring, you get a title shot at SummerSlam. Like, I'm not in that room. I've never been in a booking room before, but I have been a fan for 40 plus years. And obviously I follow this pretty closely and, do my research. I just don't like it. I can understand why Rikishi would be a little bit upset. Some comments in the chat box about this. Nicole Garcia, boo, with a thumbs down. At least Jay didn't tap out. Yeah. I guess you're going to do it. You didn't totally humiliate the dude. And then also said, why even put him on him at Mania? Why not have Gunther versus Jay through the summer than have him win it at SummerSlam? It's not a bad idea. Madam Garcia. Yeah, just it's a tough booking for Jay. Tough booking for Jay. So we'll see if he can come back from this. And of course his dad was calling for everybody in the writing room to get canned. He was upset. I don't blame him. If it was my kid, I'd be mad too. Really, it's just that's frustrating. You had the Intercontinental Championship for just a little over a month, and he's trying to adapt to being a singles wrestler after all this time. And there's no question he's over with the fans. The fans love him. When WrestleMania opened up and his music hit, and you got the yeet, 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 yeet going on. And he's done some cool stuff. Like when he yeeted with that kid a few weeks ago, that was awesome. Jay's got a lot of the tools. I think that he does need to get some more matches as a single star under his belt. But a tough night for Jey Uso as he loses the world championship. And yippee skippy, get ready for Gunther and Goldberg. I mean, are you excited about Gunther and Goldberg, everybody? Are you really excited about it? Knowing this is probably going to be his last match. Do you really? And that's the other thing that chaps me about it. Do you really think that Goldberg is going to win the WWE Undisputed Championship from Gunther? Do you really? Look, I wouldn't put anything past this crew right now. They are grabbing at some straws. But I don't know. Oh, we also had some returns on Monday Night Raw as we saw the return of Bayley, who jumped on the women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch. Bayley's back. She's fired up, purple hair and all. She's ready to go. Ready to go. And I'm excited about it. I want the good, bad Bayley right now. I love bad Bayley. I was there here in Las Vegas when she stabbed the Bayley buddies, and my daughter sat there and cried. So thanks Bayley. Appreciate that one. But I'm okay with Bayley with an attitude. Let's give her a little bit of an edge. And I think she can ride that line. I really do. So it'll be fun to see Bayley and Becky Lynch, but poor Lyra Valkyria, is she going to get pushed out of this? After, honestly, that match where she lost the Intercontinental Championship and Becky was parading her around the ring and making her hold the hands all side, and she finally hit her. But that was kind of weird to watch. I don't know. But we've got Bayley back. And now we also have Nikki Bella back. Once again, as she managed to get dropped by Liv Morgan, so she's going right after Liv. Okay. I'm guessing we are possibly setting up a tag team match because Brie is negotiating as well, so Daniel Bryan won't be getting to eat a lot of cheese. But apparently Brie Bella is coming back along with Nikki at some point with the Evolution pay-per-view coming up mid-July. We could see the Bellas challenging for the tag team titles. But there's another problem with you bring in some veterans that it's questionable why, to take the tag belts off Liv and Raquel Rodriguez would be, and for the Bellas, I don't know. But one conversation I saw that was very interesting on X was talking about about Nikki's place and the Bellas' place in pro wrestling. I was okay with the Bellas. Wasn't I could have taken or leaving it or left them. It wasn't, I didn't jump up and down when they were coming on my TV screen. Let's just say that. But they occupy a very weird space in the pantheon of women's wrestling in WWE, in that they were somewhat of the transition act between the Diva days and the days with the Four Horsewomen and so on. Now, the evolution of the women's division. And they kind of got caught in the middle. Because I don't think they're bad wrestlers or anything like that. But they really did straddle that line of, are they celebrities or are they serious pro wrestlers? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that they don't care about pro wrestling, but a lot of focus, especially went on Nikki with Total Divas and what was going on with John Cena and all the drama with her dad. And, it put her in an interesting spot that she kind of represented, to a point, the time, the era that a lot of people wanted to get rid of. And it wasn't that we hated the Bellas. I think a lot of it was that people didn't like what came before it. I hated it. I hated the Attitude Era. I hated the Divas stuff. Other than Trish and Lita, and there's some great other wrestlers like Jackie and so on, Ivory. But the Divas era was just Vince McMahon deciding he's going to degrade women all over the place. I mean, you think of some of the stuff he did to Trish Stratus, of all people. Ugh. Yikes. And they were kind of the tail end of that transition from going from, bra and panties matches to having serious matches for the women. So they got caught in an odd spot. They really did. And I think it's going to be entertaining to see if they get back, or when they get back here and going full time, where are they going to fall in this whole thing? Can they hang with somebody like Charlotte Flair? Now, can they hang with a Liv Morgan? I don't know. So, so Nicole Garcia in the chat box and other ladies out there, don't think that I'm hating on the Bellas, but they occupy a strange spot. They really do. We'll see how that all turns out for them. I know we've got some other comments about the King and Queen of the Ring. Going to get to that and some other stuff, but we do have some other interesting stories too. Like, wow, what happened with Warner Brothers Discovery, and how is that going to mess with AEW? Some big stuff happened in New Japan, AEW Grand Slam. There's a lot that took place this week, and we're going to get into all of it. But I do want to remind everybody, if you don't mind, if you could take a second, and if you need a hotel room and you need to save some money on it, I have the solution. I've got it for you. Go to thetravelshark.com/Hoke Show. That's all you got to do. And you get a free sign up, and you will see all these incredible deals that they've got on there. It's powered by Priceline. It's got all the mystery prices. You got to go on a website and they're like, if I do this, I can see, or I buy it, then I can find out where I'm staying. No. You get those mystery prices, employee prices. You're just going to get the best deal. That's it. You're going to get the best deal. So please check it out today at thetravelshark.com/Hoke Show. That's thetravelshark.com/Hoke Show. And no matter where you're going in the world, go ahead, check it out. Save yourself some money. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. It is the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you on the other side.
With the two Jewels of Henderson, the Emerald Island Casino, and the Rainbow Club, you've got the best paying slots valley-wide, best video poker valley-wide, and the best food and service you'll find in all of Southern Nevada. The Emerald Island and Rainbow Club casinos, where slot players are treated like royalty and everyone is greeted and treated like family. Great daily specials and parking is always free. Join your friends, family, and neighbors for round-the-clock fun. Think different, think better. Think Emerald Island and Rainbow Club casinos, the jewels in downtown Henderson's historic Water Street district, where everyone's a winner.
This is Lori Herron, Executive Director of Nevada SPCA, with a life-saving reminder. Las Vegas summer temperatures can be deadly for pets. Never, ever leave your pets in a hot car, even on a mild 75-degree day. The temperature inside your car can skyrocket to over 100 degrees in minutes. In an hour, it can reach 125 degrees or more, turning your vehicle into a deadly oven. Please keep your pets cool, safe, and alive this summer. Nevada SPCA, protecting animals, saving lives.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing a schedule, and responding to Jim's long emails. Leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC at dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
Empower.
Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or in third-party delivery platforms.
Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Save $100 on the Craftsman V20 6-tool Power Tool Combo Kit, now at $199. No matter what the project is, Craftsman's high-quality, high-performance products empower you to build on. Stop by your nearest Lowe's store and check out the full line of Craftsman tools today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
101.5 FM KDAWN. You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
Oh, you bet it's me. Thank you, John Lindquist, one of the great voice guys of all time, Nevada Broadcasting Hall of Fame. Great dude. Great singer, too. So look him up. You need voice work done. He's your guy. No doubt about it. So thank you, John Lindquist. All right, let's get back to it. Hey, guess what? The King and Queen of the Ring tournaments are underway. Are you excited? Winners get shots at a world championship. And where's that stand right now? Well, you know, if I would have actually had this ready to go, I'd be able to tell you. So bear with me for 1 second. But of course, some of the big stories coming out of these tournaments. One, Jey Uso was inserted in one of the matches. They did 4 ways to start this off, so 16 on each side. Round 1 is nearly complete. It'll be wrapping up on Monday. Sami Zayn pins Dominic Mysterio in a match with the two of them, Penta and Braun Breaker. So Zayn advances to the semifinals. He will face off with Randy Orton. Orton pins LA Knight. Aleister Black, Carmelo Hayes also in that one. But Randy Orton goes on, and we get Zayn and Orton. Woo! Woo! That's interesting. On the other side of the bracket, Cody Rhodes pins Shinsuke Nakamura in a match with the two of them, Andrade and Damian Priest. Cody Rhodes advances in the King of the Ring tournament. Your last match is Bronson Reed, Rusev, Sheamus, Jey Uso. Yes, no cross. No cross. Okay. But are we seriously going to get Sami Zayn and Randy Orton against Cody Rhodes and then Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso in the semis? Okay. Sign me up for that. I'm down. I don't hate everything about WWE. That sounds fun. We're going to be a bad boy in all these matches. I don't know. Maybe Jay's going to be mad. Maybe Jay turns on Cody. See Sammy turning on Randy. Maybe Cross is getting a little extra involved in that one. But we should have a pretty interesting semifinal, couple of semifinals there. The women's matches. Roxanne Perez gets a pin on Kairi Sane. Also in a match with Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. So they are all out. Roxanne Perez moves on. God, I love Roxanne too. I got to interview Roxanne at WrestleMania a couple years ago. She is one of the coolest people. I love her to death. Just a fireball. Short. I'm looking down. I don't get to look down many people. I'm 5'6". I'm looking down on Roxanne Perez. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. Roxanne is going to meet Jade Cargill as Jade Cargill gets to the pin on Piper Niven. Also Meechin and Nia Jackson that match. So it'll be Roxanne Perez and Jade Cargill. That's going to be interesting. And then Alexa Bliss also survives. She gets a pin on Candice LeRae. You had Alba Fire and Charlotte Flair in there. I think a lot of people thought Charlotte was just going to move it on. Kind of a weird ending to the match. And I know Nicole Garcia there in the chat box just saying, did anyone else think the Alexa and Charlotte finish was supposed to be both of them winning? I don't know about that. I just think it was a little. Look, it's hard to coordinate stuff in the ring sometimes. Now, but Alexa gets the victory. She's going to face the winner of this final match, which is Stephanie Vaquer, Raquel Rodriguez, Ivy Nile, and Asuka is back from her knee injury. Alexa Bliss and Asuka? I'm all right. That sounds fun to me. But, Vaquer's been getting a pretty good push. By the way, am I the only one who thinks the Devil's Kiss is a stupid move? For those that don't know what the Devil's Kiss is, if you don't watch pro wrestling very much, basically she puts the head of another wrestler between her legs and just kind of bounces her off the ground. So it's like the butt up, head between legs, boom, 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 like a basketball. I think it's stupid. It's stupid. Everybody loves this move. I don't know why. I'll take it back. Take it back. The view's entertaining. But otherwise, I think it's ridiculous. But we could be getting Alexa Bliss and Asuka, but Roxanne Perez, Jade Cargill, boy, is that an intriguing match. No, it's been very strange how Jade Cargill's been getting booked because I just didn't think she was going to lose a match for a long time. But she has. She's been proven vulnerable, and that's probably a good thing for her. But this will be fun with her and Roxanne. And, of course, the winners of the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments, the finals will be on Tournament of Champions, and the winners get a shot at a world championship at SummerSlam. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited. We're gonna see Little Miss Bliss. I love Alexa. Oh, she's just got my heart. Got my heart. Also, by the way, in the chat box, Nicole Garcia again saying Alexa and Oscar were tag partners together. Yep. Love Alexa. LOL, my mom thinks it's dumb too. Yes! I love your mom. I love your mom, Nicole Garcia. Thank you. That sounds, but that sounds so funny because you've got, because of course the people that don't know Nikki Bella's real name is Nicole Garcia. Am I in love with Nikki Garcia's mom? It's all good. But yeah, that's going to be a fun King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. But man, the men's side, I think you got to be a little more excited about that right now just because of all the crazy possibilities. Could we be getting Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton? Finally? What I thought should have been one of the championship matches at WrestleMania last year, but hey, what do I know? But there you go. So that's King and Queen of the Ring tournament. Some other interesting WWE news, and I kind of saved some of the crazy stuff for last, but this one is going to be worth falling into the main discussion. As our good buddy, Mr. Iguana from AAA, made his debut on WWE television at Worlds Collide and captivated audiences with his incredible stuffed iguana that he brings to the ring. Kind of uses him as a puppet, a prop, hits people with him. It's the iguana bites. Well, Mr. Iguana managed to get heat already somehow in WWE. Well, when you say, I'm going straight to the main roster, there's no deal in place. I don't know. Now, would it shock me? No. Why? And it's not like Mr. Iguana is some rookie wrestler. He's been wrestling in Mexico for years and doing this iguana gimmick. If you haven't seen it, look it up. He did some pretty cool stuff, man. Got that iguana, flip him up on his shoulder. It's cute. But boy, did WWE see dollar signs with that one. Oh my God. How many iguanas can WWE sell? I don't know. It's probably a lot. I had to deal with the New Day, and their unicorn horns. Thanks, guys. You got your $25 out of me for that. And nothing like your kids standing there and, well, do you want something? Yeah. Have fun. But Mr. Iguana managed to get himself in a little bit of trouble. So hopefully he'll get that smoothed out. But yeah, I wouldn't be jumping the gun or anything if I were any of the AAA guys. I mean, and great run for Octagon getting a chance to wrestle on the PLE. Money in the Bank, pretty cool. It was a short match with Dominic Mysterio. Nice to see him get a chance. I mean, he's been around forever. But yeah, that was something with Mr. Iguana. Ay. And we're also going to have a new women's tag team, by the way, as WWE is apparently clearing the way for the Dungeon Dolls. Who are the Dungeon Dolls? Well, it's Natalya. Don't say Natty. There's a difference. And Maxine Dupree are apparently going to be forming a tag team. Maxine has been training with Natalya at the dungeon, the famous Heart Dungeon. And as have a lot of people, that has been fascinating, hasn't it? So many people are going back up to the Heart Dungeon to train with Natty and some of the other troop up there. I'm sure Tyson Kidd's got a little bit to do with that. But yeah, so they're going to be the Dungeon Dolls. And I will say this, that has got to take a lot of confidence for Natty to team with Maxine, who really struggled for a while. She was just barely getting her feet wet. So for her to be willing to go into a tag team with her, man, that is awesome for Maxine, and congratulations to her for winning Natty's respect. That is amazing. And she's was taking some heat for a while, but she's gotten better, and we'll see how the Dungeon Dolls work out in WWE. Hey, guess what? Hour 1 already done. Are you kidding me? Wow. Hour 2 is on the way shortly. We're going to keep bringing you the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment as we head over to AEW and some other news. But we are getting ready for AEW All In. Had some terrific matches, but 2 4-hour shows for AEW on TV the last couple of weeks. Why? Find out. Let's stick around. Follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show, YouTube, The Mark Hoke Show. Give us a subscribe on there. We'd certainly appreciate it. We'll see you on the other side of the break, kids. Get ready for more pro wrestling action on The Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN and the Odyssey app. Back on the other side. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show. Like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show. And visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Ready to crank up your career in Las Vegas? This is Air Supply, and we're looking for the best residential AC technicians and installers in the biz. If you got the skills, we got opportunities. We're talking top pay, weekly training, steady work, and a 4-day work week. Plus, right now, we're throwing in a $2,500 signing bonus. Your focus on the customer, that's what we value. Your expertise, that's what we respect. Ready to build an amazing future? Call us today at 702-328-0888. That's 702-328-0888.
In Nevada, anything that goes into the storm drain goes directly to our local waterways, which can pollute Nevada's lakes and rivers. Those old chemicals dumped outside, they don't just disappear. They go right into our waterways. Only rain should go in the storm drain. Discard household chemicals properly. Use waterway wisdom. And remember, only rain should go into the storm drain. Join us in working together to preserve our water resources for future generations of Nevadans.
Hi, I'm Aaron Taylor, the real estate guy. At 15 years old, I was homeless with no guidance or education. I was sleeping in my car, scared and alone, wondering where my next meal would come from. An experience no child should ever endure. But I got through it, thanks to the generosity of thoughtful people just like you. Through hard work and faith, I built a successful life in real estate. Now in these later years of my career, I am using that success to focus on something far greater. I'm helping the children who are walking the same path that I once did. That's why I created Just One for One, because it only takes $1 per paycheck to make a difference. To a child, $1 can mean food, safety, and most of all, hope. Together, we could change the lives of the children that need it the most. Please visit justoneforone.org to make your donation today. That's justoneforone.org. Be the difference in a child's life today. Sponsored by Aaron Taylor, the real estate guy. Aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or in third-party delivery platforms.
Empower. Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
You over. KMXP HD3 Henderson, K260HCS Las Vegas. Always live on the free Odyssey app. 1015 FM KDAWN.
Israel and Iran lob more strikes at one another. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. Iranian missiles have killed more than a dozen people as Israeli airstrikes destroy parts of Tehran's energy infrastructure. Fox's Trey Yingst reports from central Israel.
Rescue crews are digging through the rubble in the aftermath of an Iranian ballistic missile attack. They believe there are people buried under this debris. There's one son of a father who is trapped underneath this rubble. He's wearing a hospital gown because after the Iranians attacked this apartment building, he was taken to a nearby medical center, and he has come back and he's waiting to see if his father will come out alive. It's a very sad scene here, and it is tense as these rescue workers look to see if they can find anyone still trapped.
President Trump predicting peace between Israel and Iran is imminent, saying meetings and phone calls are underway now. Washington, D.C. celebrated the U.S. Army's 250th birthday with a big parade last evening.
Uniforms, military equipment, and vehicles from the Revolutionary War to today were on display to celebrate the Army's 250th birthday.
As we celebrate tonight, we also think of the hundreds of thousands of Army soldiers who have made the supreme sacrifice for our nation and selflessly laid down their lives in every war, from the revolution to the war on terror.
President Trump vowing to continue supporting the military with peace through strength. The parade, though, faced pushback as thousands across the country held No Kings protests, with some arguing the parade was costly and unnecessary. At the White House, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Demonstrators filled the streets in several cities across the U.S. yesterday to protest immigration arrests, those protests turning violent in Los Angeles and in Portland, Oregon, where several officers were injured. America is listening to Fox News.
From around the world,
Trey Yingst joining us from Tel Aviv, Israel.
To Washington,
I'm Mike Emanuel.
To your own backyard. If a story impacts you or your wallet, we're on it. It's the Fox News Rundown. We give every story the deeper look it deserves, with must-listen interviews and smart analysis from the voices you can trust. Start your day with the Fox News Rundown. Listen and follow now at foxnewsrundown.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey, this is Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy Podcast. Every Tuesday, you'll hear what's on my mind. Plus, every Thursday, there's a special bonus episode where we answer the questions that are on your mind. Make sure to spend your Tuesdays and Thursdays with Trey. Subscribe now at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you download podcasts. Hope to see you.
America's listening to Fox News.
KDAWN and Desert Springs Pool and Spas have teamed up for the 65K pool giveaway. Enter now at odyssey.com/KDAWN for your chance to win. Hurry, contest ends June 30th, 2025. No purchase necessary. See website for details.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Hey, happy Father's Day, Las Vegas. What's going on out there? Welcome back to the Mark Hoke Show, hour number 2 on KDAWN 101.5 FM, Talk of Las Vegas. And we appreciate all of you that are out there listening to us. I know we get to see the ratings, and pretty good. I'm happy. So thank you for tuning in. It's awesome. Tell your friends, neighbors, kids, pets, especially if you've got a Nielsen meter. But anyway, very happy to have you joining us here on KDAWN. Of course, also streaming on the Odyssey app. If you don't have the app, I'm telling you that the force is not with you. You need to get it right now. AUDACY. Download it, and you're going to not only get to hear my show whenever you want, or when you want to check out all the shows on KDAWN 101.5 FM here in Las Vegas. Also, tons of shows from the Odyssey Network and beyond. It's pretty cool. So download that right now. Just hop on your phone, AUDACY. We're also live streaming on X, YouTube, and Facebook. Just look up the Mark Hoke Show. You'll find us, I promise. And you can hop in and get in the chat box and say hi to everybody and ask questions or make points. And we try to respond to everybody as best we can. We can't get all of our comments, but some pretty good ones in there. So we'll take care of you, I promise. All right. Talked a lot about WWE in the last hour, all the crazy stuff going on there. The Punk-O-Matic headed to Saudi Arabia. Have fun with that, buddy. But I'm sure he'll be enjoying his paycheck. But we head over to AEW land. There's a lot going on over there too. And this story kind of rocked the house a little bit. I don't know if it's being is it a big of a deal as some people are making it sound, but there's definitely going to be some issues that AEW is going to have to straighten out. As if you did not hear what happened to Warner Brothers Discovery, which is the company that they're on TNT and TBS and streaming on HBO Max, so they are very deeply involved with Warner Brothers Discovery. Well, guess what? WBD is splitting companies. They're becoming two companies. And just for fun, just to let you figure out how crazy this could be for them, is they're splitting two companies. One is called Streaming and Studios. So the great David Zaslav, who at least was smart at signing W, but couldn't get the deal done with the NBA, will be taking over Streaming and Studios. The chief financial officer of WBD, Gunnar Weidenfels, will be overseeing global networks as their CEO and president. Where does the problem lie? Well, brace yourself, because Zaslav's Streaming and Studios will consist of Warner Brothers Television, Warner Brothers Motion Picture Group, DC Studios, HBO, and HBO Max, and their TV and film libraries. Global networks will house TNT Sports, CNN, Bleacher Report, and other entities, plus Discovery Plus, their streaming service. That sounds like there's a little bit of a problem there, because now AEW is going to have to coordinate this between two companies, because you have one that's handling the TV side. You got one that's handling the HBO Max side, where they're streaming their show simultaneously, plus putting all their materials up. Now, do I think that this is a terrible, horrible death of AEW thing? No, they'll figure it out. I'm sure this is one of their biggest contracts, working with AEW. Even though, do not put it past David Zaslav to screw things up. Him losing the NBA was ridiculous. I mean, he blew that deal. It was just horrendous. But this is going to be a little bit of a tricky spot for them to figure out, as they end up working with two companies instead of one. And, David Zaslav is apparently pretty close to Tony Khan. They work pretty well together. We'll see about Weidenfels. I can't imagine that they wouldn't want to maintain that relationship with AEW. It's bringing a ton of subscribers into HBO and HBO Max. So, But I know, like, Jesse Hyde in the chat box over here comments the, quote, end of AEW is coming soon thanks to the WBD split. Maybe, in quotes. I don't think so. It's they are one of the highest rated shows and they're on Wednesday nights, and doing okay on Saturdays too. I don't think that they're going to want to mess with them. It's going to be complicated, but I don't think it's going to be as complicated as a lot of people are making it out to be. I really don't. I mean, you've already got the TV rights settled up. You may have to negotiate with two companies over this at this point, once their TV deal's up. But does anybody over there want to lose AEW? No. No way. And I just laugh when I see the ratings come out and be like, oh, look, they only did X amount of people. but they're in the top 5 on Wednesday night on shows on cable every week. If you told me I'm running a TV network and I've got a locked top 5, usually at least top 3 show that I'm putting on a couple of nights a week, what am I going to say? Where do I sign? So, I mean, this drama about their ratings, and they get about the same amount of people on HBO Max as they do on TBS TNT. Man, I don't see that big of a problem, and I'm sure they're all going to sit down and get it worked out. But they got a nice deal right now, and I don't think anybody's looking to change it. But it is fascinating to see how they're going to handle this. So Warner Brothers Discovery, I don't know about that company sometimes though. I don't know. But we also had some pretty cool stuff going on in AEW with a great match on the Summer Blockbuster show. Tony names a lot of these shows, but man, oh day, Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland did a half-hour draw that was just unreal. Match of the year candidate, no doubt about it. And they are setting up AEW All In like crazy. I cannot begin to tell you how awesome I think this card's going to be. And no offense to any of you that are just diehard NXT or WWE people, but man, you can watch NXT and Saturday night's main event anytime you want. Just record it. Go to Peacock or wherever. It's gonna be there. You All In's not gonna be one you want to miss live. You'd have. I mean, if you're telling me that you'd rather watch Gunther and Goldberg over some NXT matches over AEW, okay, it's your call. Do I think you're a little off your rocker for this time around? Yeah. But this is going to be awesome. And then they set up Kenny Omega and Okada as they're going to be unifying the Continental and International Championships. And Kenny got beat up by Don Callis and the boys. Yeah, may have overdone the blood spitting a little bit. But, man, this is going to be another great match in their series. And cannot wait to see who comes out on top of that. And they're talking about right now just saying it's a unified title. You got to come up with something better than that. But you know what really sucks is the combination of names of the Continental and the International Championship would be the Intercontinental Championship. Oh, really? I don't think we could do that. It'd be funny. It would be funny, but I don't know what they're going to do with that. But the one thing, and that to me was one of the mistakes that Tony's made recently, was making the Continental Championship. And for those that don't know how you originally won that, it's kind of like the G1 Climax tournament in New Japan, where you have a group of wrestlers in pool play. So it takes 6 and 6. Everybody wrestles each other, top 2 advance. And then the winner of that final tournament becomes the Continental Champion. But then they also had people defending this championship. So not only was it a tournament, but it also became a defended title during the year. And I didn't like that. I always felt that when they did this, that whoever's the Continental Champion, you get to stay the Continental Champion, and then you'll crown a new one next year. But we'll see. I mean, this is going to be a terrific match, and hopefully we keep the Continental Championship kind of separate after this. I think Tony may have figured that out. But comments, let's see, also in the chat box, on the Garcia saying Kenny got trashed on Wednesday. Blood was a little too much. Yeah, that's one of the problems AEW occasionally has. Just go a little too far. It's Tony loves his ECW. He's loved it since he was a kid, and you're not gonna, you're probably not gonna get away from that anytime soon. But another interesting thing that AEW is doing right now is they've had these. Oh, and I'm sorry, Mike Scoop in the chat box says, we get it. He has stomach issues. Yes. The diverticulitis. Yes. We do all understand it. It was a little overdone. But they've run 2 4-hour shows the last couple of weeks. Fighter Fest was, instead of the normal 2-hour Dynamite, Fighter Fest was 4 hours. And then the Summer Blockbuster show was also 4 hours. And it actually did pretty well. Held ratings for the most part. And what I have read, that they are trying to see if the time slot that they're in is the right one, or maybe they should shift Dynamite around a little bit. Fascinating way to try it. And look, people are overall enjoying the show. So, yeah, if you're going to experiment a little bit, nothing wrong with that. But guys, just do us a favor and don't push this thing into like a 9 o'clock start on the West Coast or on the East Coast. Just don't. I don't know how they'll handle it, but interesting doing 4-hour shows for your Dynamite and trying to figure that out. Give them credit. Interesting solution, but but God, we always complain about when SmackDown Raw were 3 hours. Could you imagine if TNT and TBS said, man, this 4-hour thing's working out? Oh, it's a long time. It's a long time to watch a TV show. Long time when you're reporting on it too. But yeah, fascinating that they're scheduling this in 4 hours. But then this week we get AEW Grand Slam Mexico. Brace yourselves for this one because this is going to be a lot of fun. Of course, AEW sold this out within minutes. They got the tickets for this one at the Arena Mexico in Mexico City. And it's going to be the first AEW's first televised show in Mexico. It was just amazing how WWE just, after AEW was featuring luchadors and do this and, we're doing a show in Mexico. Whatever. Well, do what you got to do. But this is going to be a very entertaining card. And I got to tell you, MJF and Mystico. Woo! Hold on to your hats on that one. That's going to be awesome. MJF, by the way, sporting the MVP style Hurt Syndicate vest. Somebody's getting set up there. Oh God. I don't know who's playing who. I think they're all playing each other. Maybe they're all going to try and stab each other in the back at the same time and then just kind of look at each other and laugh. I don't know. But MJF doing a great job right now. Zooks is taking on Mercedes Moné for the CMLL Women's World Championship. And by the way, if she picks that one up, that's number 6 because she just won another championship. And bear with me as my computer decides to freeze for a second. There we go. As she won the European Wrestling Association Women's Championship. I believe that is in Austria. Bear with me, and I do apologize. But so she now she's got the Owen Hart title. She's got the TBS title, the Rev Pro title. And she also is carrying the Queen of Southside belt, which Rev Pro merged with their title. And now she's got another one. So she is Mercedes 5 belts. And I do apologize. Vienna. Sorry. So another title for Mercedes, and she will look to try to pick up another one here in CML, and don't doubt that she won't do it. But how do you wear 6 titles? That's a lot. That's a lot of beltage. I mean, you gonna walk in like some of the guys were doing with the trios titles and arms out. I don't know, maybe one around the middle of the waist, run around the hips, and I guess you could put one around the neck. I don't know if you can tighten it enough to get it around the thighs, but it's a lot. It's a lot. But we'll see if she picks up that victory in Grand Slam Mexico. Also coming up on that card, We got a 10-man match between the Death Riders and Young Bucks. They'll be taking on the Ops. So that's Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, Katsuyori Shibata, Swerve Strickland, and Will Ospreay. That should be a nice all hell breaks loose match. And if that wasn't bad enough, we got a 12-man match. Adam Cole, Atlantis Jr., Bandito, Brody King, Daniel Garcia, and Templario taking on the Don Callis family and FTR. So get ready. All hell's going to break loose in Mexico. A fun 4-way match. Mascara Dorada is going to take on Ricochet, Hologram, and Leo Rush. That's one that I think you need a higher up seat, because they're going to be flying all over the place on that one. And then we get Okada against Mark Briscoe. And Mark is really coming into his own, man. I'll tell you, I want to say he totally played second fiddle to Jay, but Jay was the one that won the Ring of Honor World Championships. And, but Mark is performing at such a high level at this point, and his promos are awesome. I think people are really starting to get behind Mark Briscoe. And it would be great at some point, I think, for him to win the AEW championship. Honor Jay. But, man, I can't believe it's been a couple of years already. But that should be an outstanding night for AEW as they have their AEW Grand Slam Mexico. Some comments in the chat box. Jesse Hyde firing away in here. AEW's WCW 2.0 and real ECW 2.0 and real Wrestling Eyes fans. I don't know about that. I don't know. There are pieces that go into place, but I wouldn't compare AEW to WCW 2.0. Little shaky on that. AAA got a Triple Mania event with WWE and TNA talent. Yes, they did. Tony Khan doesn't want Monet to lose for the money. You betcha. And Nicole Garcia saying, LOL, soon she'll need a suitcase for all those belts. You can just wheel them down the ring. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, a wheelbarrow suitcase. Well, I think we're doing the suitcase thing with the World Championship. I don't think we need to do that. But maybe, you know what? I have a solution for her. She needs to call Dalton Castle, who's coming back, by the way. Call the boys. Put Mercedes and Dalton together a little bit, and the boys can carry the belts to the rings. That would solve it. She could get carried down on their shoulders, and oh God. Now I'm thinking of all this crazy stuff Dalton Castle could possibly come up with for Mercedes Moné. It would be bad, but yeah. So there's your AEW Grand Slam Mexico coming up on Wednesday night. All right. And before we go to break, I remind you that a good friend of mine, Mike Franco, with Off Grid Creations, man, I'll tell you what, if you need anything done, screen printing, embroidery, promotional products, banners and signs like this beautiful one over my shoulder right there, or Off Grid Creations, hey, give them a call right now. Pretty easy to do. 661. And you can wake them up. 661-300-1115. 661-300-1115. That's 661-300-1115. Off-gridcreations.com. I'll give you a free consultation. Try to help you out with your brand and get everything made as quick as possible. And they go nationwide. He'll probably even go worldwide too, I would think. So check him out today at off-gridcreations.com. All right, let's keep it going. More from the world of pro wrestling as AEW continues their big run. But we've got maybe some free agents. And New Japan had Dominion last night and have announced the G1 Climax pools coming up. Plus, someone's having a baby. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.
The home selling season is here, and more people are moving to the Vegas Valley. If you're serious about selling your home, you don't want an agent that's just going to put up a sign and sit back and wait. You need an active agent. You need the Brinkus Realty Network with Keller Williams Realty, the marketplace.
The Brinkus team have proven marketing strategies to get your home in front of the most qualified buyers. That means you get top dollar for your home. In this market, you need an expert, and they know how to bring buyers to you. They've averaged more than 250 sales per year for the last 30 years.
They negotiate to get the price you want. The Brinkus team has a team of licensed staff and agents working together. So instead of one agent doing all the work, you get a whole roster of experts getting you the best deal possible. Get a custom proposal at no cost or obligation today. Go to Brinkus.com. That's BRENKUS.com and start packing. License number BS 16186.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/score. That's ethos.com/score.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
This Father's Day at Lowe's, score free gifts for the greatest dad. Right now, get a free Blackstone 8-piece accessory kit when you buy a Blackstone 28-inch griddle. Plus, get 2 free select Craftsman V20 tools when you buy an RP brushless drill and impact driver combo kit. Shop these deals and more this Father's Day at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 6/15 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
The cost of mesothelioma treatments can exceed $400,000, and families often face losing their homes and life savings just to pay the bill. The Rights and Claims Department of Flint Cooper has helped victims secure financial support they need to pay for their care and ensure their family's future. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma and don't have legal representation, call Flint Cooper now at 800-606-8169. Time is running out for you to file a claim, so don't wait. Call 800-606-8169 for a free consultation.
1015 FM KDAWN. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, let's keep this pro wrestling party start going here on the Mark Hoke Show. I'll try to say my words a little better, but it's all good. Welcome back on KDAWN 1015 FM, the talk of Las Vegas, also on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Go download that right now. You can subscribe to us on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show, and on X at Mark Hoke Show. And you can join in the fun on the stream. We got people firing all sorts of comments out. And, we'd like to hear what you think about what's happened in the world of pro wrestling today, whether we talked about on the show earlier or we're getting to it. Hit us. It's all good. We certainly welcome the participation. So last night, we had New Japan Dominion take place and had a few title changes, a couple of good ones. As I'm just running down through my list right now, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship changed hands as the House of Torture. Sho and Dookie defeated Master Wato and YOH for that title. We have new IWGP Tag Team Champion as Taichi and Tomoshiro Ishii. The baddest man on the planet. Beat the United Empire. They are the new champs. We have a Never Openweight Championship changed hands as Oleg Boltin knocked off Takeshita. And if you didn't see some of the clips from that match, Takeshita was getting thrown around ring like a rag doll, and Takeshita's a pretty big dude. So make sure you check that out. Evil beat David Finlay in a dog collar death match. Yikes. Gabe Kidd is the new IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion. So he takes that off Yoda Tsuji. And then Hiroki Goto defended his IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Shingo Takagi. So a pretty wild night, but Gabe Kidd continues to tear apart New Japan. And you got to see a little bit of him on AEW programming. But Gabe Kidd is something else. I got to see him at Bloodsport. That guy is just charisma like you wouldn't believe. And he's one tough son of a gun. So, Gabe Kidd picking up the IWGP Global Heavyweight title. Could he be eventually on the way to being the IWGP World Champion down the road? Yeah, I can see that. I don't know if he doesn't get signed by somebody else here in America, but nice night for Gabe Kidd. The New Japan G1 Climax blocks for Climax 35 have been announced. And this is always a pretty big day. This tournament has become just an absolute staple in pro wrestling. And for those that don't know how that works, very similar to the Continental Classic in AEW, where you take a group of wrestlers, put them in blocks, they all wrestle each other, and then your top two get out and wrestle in a mini tournament to determine the new G1 Climax champion. And this has been an absolute just barn burner of a series in New Japan. Right now, there's 2 O's to qualify in each groups, but Block A, Mora, Tsuji, Finley, Goto, Oleg, Evil, Sonata, and Honorable Tanahashi-san in the first block. And if you thought that was rough, Block B is Zack Sabre, El Phantasmo, Umino, Takagi, Great Okan, Takeshita, Narita, Gabe Kidd, and 2 more. Yikes. Oh, brace yourselves for that one, New Japan fans. And you can check that out. I know it does broadcast. God, I think it was on Access. If you have DirecTV, you can catch it. But man, this is going to be worth watching. What a great show the shows those are going to be as we get New Japan rolling. So then back to America. Some interesting chit chats about talent. Private Parties contracts coming up, and we interviewed them on the show a little while back, but apparently WWE has interest in them. They're great guys. I got to tell you, Isaiah Cassidy, Mark Quinn, now ran into some injury problems through their time in AEW, but I think it felt like they got cut. Their championship ring got cut a little short, but they have not been on TV for a while. As a matter of fact, it's been since January. Whew, long time. But apparently WWE has interest in them. I think they would be a good addition to get them. I'd rather see them stay in AEW. But they really haven't done a whole lot for a while. So we'll see how they come out. They could be following Mariah May, who, by the way, guess what, kids? She is now Blake Monroe. Kind of went movie star, and Blake is her niece's name. I did mock it a little bit. I just we're trying to avoid a trademark thing, and they wanted to own the name, of course. So they had to. So you have to change it. So into the random name generator, but at least to Mariah May's credit, to Blake Monroe's credit, she got to pick one of the names. Good for her. Because usually it's like Jenny Kabumski or Ricardo Jonathan or something stupid. Like they're just spinning a wheel. So yeah, good for her. She gets to be Blake Monroe, but Private Party on board. We also have another person re-signing, and I think this is a fascinating re-signing. I really do. Omos has upped his deal with WWE. He has not wrestled in a match for over a year. A year. The giant Omos. I mean, a guy who came in, they put him with AJ Styles. Pretty much like, just carrying AJ around. It's pretty funny. But he has done all sorts of interesting things. He got shut down at Backlash 2023. Oh, man. But he's only done Battle Royals since then and hasn't been on TV since the 2024 Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. You know what I said? 2024. battle royal. But he went over to Japan and won a tag team title over there, but then got recalled back to WWE, and they haven't used him. It is very difficult to book a guy like that in a way because he's so big and so tall. And you look, if you're looking at a guy in a fight like that, right? If I was going to have to fight Omos, I'm a dead man. There's no hope. There's no hope. I mean, I suppose there's a way I could find somehow to defeat him if I really needed to. But the problem is that when you don't want to make him look weak, and that's a difficulty that they have with a lot of these very large guys. You know, Satnam Singh's another one. You don't see a lot of Satnam Singh. A lot of times these guys end up being bodyguards and things like that because you do have to keep a sense of realism in the ring. And if you got a guy that's 7'4" taking on a guy that's 5'11", hard to make it work. You know, you really have to have people that are at least somewhat like a Braun Strowman, for example, could get in the ring with Omos. And when they did that, even Omos was still towering over him. So it's pretty tricky on how you handle a guy like that. But and you know, he's getting better. I mean, you saw some of the videos from New Japan. He's improved. It would be interesting to see him get interjected into a title picture again in WWE, because he seems like a terrific guy too, somebody they could really market. But it's just so hard to figure it out with a guy that is just built like that. Jade Cargill, she got herself a new job apparently. She's going to be in a movie. Good for her. She will be in the action thriller True Threat, according to Deadline. The film description says True Threat follows Special Forces operative Vernon Threat, who's being played by Jonathan Majors, returns home seeking justice after his teenage son's murdered, blah, 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 blah. And apparently she will play a character called Mika, described as a key lieutenant in the Apollo Kids and one of the film's central antagonists. So Jade Cargill getting on board. Good for her. So Liv Morgan gets her acting debut. Jade Cargill is hitting the scene as well. So very cool. Good for her. Very nice. All right. We're going to step back and get one more break in before we head out. But I do have to remind you that you can bet on pro wrestling. That's right, kids. Just head on over to the markhokeshow.com and click on the betonline.ag banner. Why should you do that? Because you're going to get a bonus for signing up. You put in the code BOL1000 and you will get a matching bonus up to $500. So if you put in 50%, so if you put in 1,000, you get 500. I am handing you $500 right now, and you can check out all your favorite pro wrestling bets. Plus, they've got every sport on the planet. I swear to God, they do. You can bet on politics. You can bet on rugby. You can bet on snooker. Are you kidding me? I don't know. I'm feel a little weird about betting on snooker. But there are some betting odds up already for AEW All In. If you want to take a look at that, as Jon Moxley is a plus 400 against Hangman Adam Page is minus 700. So Page a huge favorite right now to win the AEW World Championship. Mercedes Moné is a minus 150 against Toni Storm, plus 110 for the Women's World Championship. And there'll be more up there. So check it out. Just head on over to markhokeshow.com. Click on our banner because that's how it routes and helps me out and the team. So certainly appreciate that. And you can be part of all the wrestling fun. You know, throw $10 down. Have a great time at betonline.ag. All right, let's step back and take a break. And we're going to come back. We'll check out your comments in the chat box, give you some more news. And who is the mystery couple that's going to be having a baby right here in Las Vegas? Stick around, everyone, on the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. We'll be right back.
Looking for high-quality custom screen printing in Las Vegas? Look no further than Off Grid Creations. Need a few custom t-shirts for a local event, band merchandise, or family reunion? We've got you covered. Large order of uniforms for your staff, sports team, or club? We can handle that too. Our experienced team will work closely with you throughout the entire process from design consultation to final product. Call us at 661-300-1115. That's 661-300-1115. Or visit our website at off-gridcreations.com. Get a free consultation today.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey. When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age. Everybody deserves a family. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or on third-party delivery platforms.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC, powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing a schedule, and responding to Jim's long emails. Leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC at dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Right now, get a free select tool when you buy the Craftsman V20 2-pack battery kit. Whether it's the backyard, the bathroom, or beyond, Craftsman has the tools to help you power through and get the project done right. Because DIYing is unpredictable, but your tools shouldn't be. Shop Craftsman at Lowe's today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads, race car bobbleheads, little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
1015 FM KDAWN. You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's wrap this thing up. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN. Yeah, it's me flying solo today. That's all right. Having a lot of fun. Everybody's completely tied up today. Apparently, Coach Rosie, Josh Rosenbaum from Ad Free Shows, coaching in a basketball tournament. He's busy. Phil Stamper traveling home from a Pro Wrestling Revolver show. He's on en route home to his domicile in Maryland. Stu Myrick covering a sports event today. So, yeah, we're missing some of the team, but that's okay. We're having a great time with all of you, doing our thing and giving you the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN. All right. So, of course, earlier in the show, we did talk about CM Punk heading to Saudi Arabia. Oh, boy. Does CM Punk retain his authenticity with the fans after this? Apparently, according to Dave Meltzer, this was in the works for a while, but John Cena putting him on the spot and saying, "You're chasing me to Saudi Arabia." Later in the week, Punk said, "I'll chase you to Mars." Yeah, but there's not a 7-figure paycheck on the surface of Mars. So we'll see how Punk does with all that. New World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso Gunther knocking off Jey Uso this week, and now apparently Gunther will be taking on Goldberg on Saturday night's main event. That is the plan at this point. We'll see if that holds up. Bailey is back. Nikki Bella is back. Ron Killings is about ready to destroy John Cena. God, wouldn't that be great, guys? Oh, Ron Killings, after all that, as the world heavyweight champion, or the undisputed champion, that would be with John. So that would be quality entertainment. Some comments in the chat box from, let's see, Jesse Hyde saying New Japan Stardom doesn't like Monet, Mercedes Monet, because TK wants Monet to be the face of Stardom in AEW New Japan Stardom partnership. It's all right. Don't have to love everybody. I mean, it helps. Nicole Garcia in chat box. When Ricky came over, all he did was change his last name. So talking about Ricky Starks, who is now Ricky Saints. They couldn't do that for her too. I don't know. Ricky Starks, great. That's a great name. It just works. Ricky Saints. I don't know. I think about a mediocre football team in New Orleans. And Omos pretty much forgot about him. How did he forget about Omos? I understand. He hasn't wrestled for a while. But yeah, there you go. And if you want to get in our chat box, at Mark Hoke Show on X, Facebook, YouTube, just look for us there and you can get in and throw in your 2 cents worth. Hikuleo. If you're not aware who Hikuleo was a big star in Japan, but he is the adoptive son of Haku. Debuted on WWE Main Event ahead of Friday Night SmackDown this week. And they've been waiting for him we're waiting to make his singles debut. You know, kind of wonder if we were going to stick him in the bloodline or anything like that. But he is apparently on his way to SmackDown shortly. So the giant Hikuleo is going to be on the way. He took on Kit Wilson from Pretty Deadly. But yeah, just wonder if he's going to be Solo Sikoa's new right-hand man. They seem to go through right-hand men in the bloodline a lot. I don't know how many more NY family members we can jam in here, but there's more out there. Trust me, there's more out there. But Hikuleo showing up at a WWE event on Friday. We also had an interesting reveal that the highest paid wrestler in WWE is, shock, it is Roman Reigns. Reigns, we talked about his contract a little bit last week. There's 7, according to Dave Meltzer, 7 wrestlers in WWE are currently earning well over $5 million a year. The highest paid is Roman Reigns. He made about $15 million. So Roman Reigns doing well. I did not know this, by the way. The starting WWE salary as of 2025 is $350,000. $350,000. No, I win a couple 24/7 championships for that. No problem for a while anyway. But it is interesting you bring that up with Ron Killings, who has been playing the clown for years. You know, is finally getting a shot as a serious wrestler in WWE. Wonder how much he was making. Clearly making more now after that. After the WWE fans spoke out, said, "No, you're not going to get rid of him." But yeah, that's some interesting numbers. The business side of pro wrestling is always fascinating. We also have a potential conflict. I mean, if you've been waiting to see WWE and AEW stars on the same TV show, wait no longer, because the reboot of American Gladiators is going to be getting rolling here soon. The Miz is the host. If you didn't know that. So cool for the Miz that he gets to run the show on American Gladiators. But they have a few WWE guys on there. Eric Bugenhagen, a guy who I don't know why he is not in WWE. Rick Boogs, if you remember him. It was in that great team with the Shinsuke Nakamura, just a powerhouse. But Rick Boogs, Jesse Goddard, and Jessica Roden, a.k.a. J-Rod, are all on American Gladiators. But everybody who is wondering where Wardlow and Camille disappeared to, well, that's what they were doing. American Gladiators. So we're going to see some AEW, WWE. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, they're going to be gladiators, so not really going to shouldn't be fighting each other too much. But would you pay to see Wardlow and Rick Boogs getting a little tussle on American Gladiators? I think I'd watch that. With the Miz calling it. Oh, I think that's a good time for everybody right there. But yeah, so American Gladiators, AEW and WWE personalities. Hasn't been any conflicts or anybody getting too mad about it yet. Man, separate TV show. What are you going to do? I mean, these are people that are qualified to be American Gladiators, so I don't blame them for bringing in people from both companies. I just hope, and WWE would pitch, if anybody's going to pitch fit, it would be them. So hopefully that problem is going to not get all messed up. We talked to you about a new baby coming into the world, and that is Rob Van Dam and Katie Forbes right here in Las Vegas. One of the most unique couples you're ever going to see, and they are something else. But Rob Van Dam at 54 years old is going to be having a baby. They made the announcement on Rob's One of a Kind with RVD podcast. So they've been married for a few years now, and looking forward to them having a new member of the family. So congratulations, Rob Van Dam and Katie Forbes. Two very cool people. So way to go on that one. All right. So once again, and I almost forgot this one too before I wrap it up. A WWE superstar threw out a first pitch earlier this week. It was Tiffy time at the Mets game. Tiffany Stratton, confident on the mound, sets up to fire a pitch in, yells, "It's Tiffy time." And Tiffy time went far left to the backstop. Now, when I saw this, I think I posted it on X at Mark Hoke Show. I didn't know if it was a top fiver, and it was not a top 5 worst pitch. First pitch. It's a borderline top 10er, though. It's pretty bad. And if you haven't seen it, you can track that down on my X account. But Jesus, Tiff. And she's a world-class athlete. But yeah, Nicole Garcia, chat box said, yeah, so funny, and she hits the guy. Yeah, it was not good. It was not good. Yeah. And Jesse Hyde in the chat box, by the way, also saying, and I got to put this up, love for RVD. You bet. We all love RVD, especially right here in Las Vegas. So, but yeah, Tiffy time. But looking forward to a very interesting week coming up as this saga between CM Punk and John Cena continues. R-Truth getting involved in this. We're going to see him on SmackDown. And AEW Grand Slam Mexico should be a great time and a pretty raucous crowd. I can't imagine that that place is not going to be absolutely rocking. I'm looking forward to. Now this is shaping up like an international war between AEW and WWE. Man, no one's backing down, and thank God, because I'll tell you what, if AEW wasn't around, WWE would probably go back to coast mode like they did before AEW existed, and it was getting pretty rough. So hopefully AEW is going to keep the pressure on and keep doing their thing. WWE is going overseas a lot now too, when they saw that AEW is having success, and well, this is what it is. But at least we the fans are winning because we're getting some pretty good pro wrestling. So that's awesome. But get ready for that on Wednesday night. And will Ron Killings be the world champion? The undisputed champ? Would they dare do it? I don't think so. But possibly, you know what? You never know in pro wrestling. Never, ever know. All right. So we're getting ready to wrap things up here on the Mark Hoke Show. And don't forget, guys, if you want to follow us on the socials, we certainly appreciate it. Just go to markhokeshow.com. You can find everything right there, including a lot of our sponsors like Off Grid Creations, the Travel Shark, Make sure you go to the travelshark.com/Hoke Show, betonline.ag. But follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show, YouTube. Subscribe to us, and you can check out all our past shows and interviews. They're all up there. And we also got our podcasts up on markhokeshow.podbean.com. I want to thank all of you for joining us out there in Las Vegas. I want to wish you all a happy Father's Day. Dads are awesome. So be good to your kids. And kids, buy your dad steaks. That's just all there is to it. Maybe some good barbecue too. Maybe both. But happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Guys, we'll see you next week on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas, and streaming on that Odyssey app. Thanks for being with us, and we'll catch you next time. Have a great Father's Day, Las Vegas. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show, and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family.